What's up guys, it's Coast Thrills here, and today in this video I'll be counting down the top RMCs in the US. RMC is the best coaster manufacturer in my opinion for their absolutely incredible coasters filled with airtime, intensity, and are just known for being insane rides. What they're known for is converting old wooden coasters to hybrids and becoming some of the best coasters in the world, but they are not just known for that, as they also have ground-up hybrid and wooden coasters being built. Also, with the Raptor models that are the one singular track are incredible rides with two RMCs. Coming in 2020, those are Jersey Devil at Six Flags Great Adventure, and at my home park, my most anticipated coaster of 2020, Iron Gwazi. So of course, this video coming out now, those coasters are not open yet, so I will be counting down the ones I've ridden, that is 14 to be exact, so no Medusa or any overseas RMC coasters. But most importantly, before we start, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for more videos on coasters often. Also, if you want to see more, make sure to follow our social media pages for updates and much more. Now that that's out of the way, let's start out at the number 14 spot. That is Goliath, located at Six Flags Great America. Even though it is the worst RMC, it still is a great coaster, and as in my opinion, the best coaster at the park, which just tells you how great RMC coasters are, as this still being a really good coaster. The one downside everybody talks about on this coaster, though, it is how short it is, only packing in about 6 elements, but it still has some great airtime. It is also pretty bumpy, surprisingly, at the bottom of the elements, which does take away some of the experience, but it still packs a punch, as definitely the best coaster at the park. At our number 13 spot was the original RMC, that is the new Texas Giant. As I've said before, this was the first RMC coaster I ever rode, and it was the first RMC. This ride is the definition of fun. I mean, it's not worth anything, of course, since it's an RMC. Though the elements are not the craziest, it still delivers some very fun turns and some nice airtime moments. Next up is the Joker, located at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. This has pretty much all the standard elements you would find in an RMC, such as some airtime hills, outer bank turns, a great drop, and a 0G stall. I love how the track is painted one side green and the other side purple, as it looks great, twisting through the layout that can get sluggish throughout a little. But they made the best RMC possible with the GCA layout Roar used to be, because it was not the best coaster to convert in 2016, because there were many other coasters that could be better options. But getting on to the next coaster, we have Twisted Cyclone. This coaster is just so good, as it opened in 2016 when it became my new favorite coaster at the park. It has some incredible airtime, also some sideways airtime, but the inversions are some of the best on an RMC, as the reverse cobra roll is one of them. But the airtime is a strong point, as that sideways airtime is fantastic, also packing in some super strong normal airtime hills as you go flying out of your seat every ride. But now, as we get into the top 10, we start out with Outlaw Run, located at the back of Silver Dollar City, the first wooden coaster to go upside down 3 times, and man, it packs a big punch. You have the first inversion right after the drop, and then the back-to-back heartline rolls at the end, ending it with a bang. You also have the first wave turn on an RMC, and that drop being like 55 feet longer than the height of the ride, which is just insane if you ask me. It uses the terrain greatly at the number 10 spot. Then is at number 9, Wicked Cyclone. This great coaster, you might even say average RMC, as it is a fantastic ride. But it can get a little slow towards the end, since the one times I rode it in 2018, it was not as good as I wanted it to. But it still is an incredible coaster with everything you'd want in a good RMC, but the pacing is just not the greatest. The two Raptor clones are taking number 8 and 7. As for which one I like better, that belongs to RAILBLAZER, as Wonder Woman is at 8. Both are such incredible rides, being so incredibly fast-paced with insane airtime and intensity. The layout of these clones are just so strong, packing in everything they could in the small space they had, which they are just such incredible rides, even though I like one over the other, but they are both very similar. Storm Chaser is at number 6, converted from the old Twisted Twins, and if you want an out-of-control ride, you come to Kentucky Kingdom to ride Storm Chaser. You get flung out of your seat every ride, and if you're like me, that's what you like. It is just out of control insaneness from when you leave that station to the brake run. Some of those elements are multiple incredible airtime moments, both normal and sideways. Also, it is glossy smooth. Like most RMCs, it just makes this coaster so memorable. The only dueling RMC is at number 5. Even though Twisted Colossus doesn't duel all the time, it is incredible with the layout and just gives the ride such a long and fantastic experience. My favorite coaster at Magic Mountain by far. Even when it does not duel, it is so fun with the incredible airtime, especially on that first hill. But it just makes it that much better with the dueling, just being an absolutely incredible coaster, one of the best in the world. But the best Six Flags RMC, in my opinion, is Iron Rattler at Six Flags Fiesta Texas. It may be short and weird, but it is absolutely insane. A night ride on this thing is incredible. The elements such as the drop and dive off the quarry wall propel this coaster as one of the best coasters in the world by far. And the backseat is where you need to ride it for the best experience. Even though people may say this is one of the weaker RMCs, I certainly disagree with that being because it is just insane. It was the second RMC ever built, and no doubt it holds up. But starting out, the top 3, we have Twisted Timbers, this airtime-packed RMC at King's Dominion. Which may be a controversial opinion, I like this better than I-305 at the same park, which just tells you how good this coaster is because mainly of the lineup of insane airtime on this coaster. There's also the inversions, such as the barrel roll drop cutback and zero G roll. That just makes it, like with the airtime, a big reason that I always absolutely love to visit King's Dominion. And just at number 2, we have Lightning Rod. This coaster, one of my all-time favorites. It's just memorable every single ride. I have probably ridden this coaster the most out of any other RMC. I go to Dollywood every year, maybe even more than once every year, and this coaster, every ride, is just incredible. The quad down is one of the best airtime sequences, like, ever. And there is, of course, the launch to Lift Hill and the giant wave turn that is insane. Everything about this coaster is perfection, but something has to beat it, and of course, that is Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. Known to everybody as of, if not the best coaster in the world. This thing is absolutely incredible, insaneness, the whole ride. It is just such a long ride. And for sure, it focuses on airtime on almost every element other than, some bank turns and the inversions. It's just filled with airtime, both ejector and floater, but mainly ejector, of course. This is not a B&M Hyper. Every time you walk off this coaster, you are speechless, and no doubt it is the best coaster in the world for now, because what do we know? Either Iron Gwazi or Zadra could be better, but I definitely doubt it. This coaster is incredible. So, what do you think is the best RMC? Make sure to post that in the comments below, and of course, make sure to subscribe for more videos like this often. And see ya!